boys and girls, it's Miss Katie, and we are going to be doing a review of 15-1. Now, this is for some people if you were unable to come to the Zoom lessons for topic 15. I'm gonna go through each topic lesson. So this is gonna be 15-1. We're gonna be on page 811 in your math books, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and get started. First thing I wanna do is I wanna review some shapes. Okay, I'm gonna review some old shapes you know already and go over some new shapes you might not have heard before. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn you around. Boop. And we're gonna look at my wonderful piece of paper right here. The first word that you need to know, 15-1 is all about quadrilaterals, okay? So I underlined a few times this quad right here. Now quadrilaterals means four-sided. Whenever you're using quarters to make $1, you have 4 quarters make $1. 4 sides make 1 quadrilateral, okay? Now if you look at these shapes, I have some familiar shapes on here. I have square, I have a rectangle, but there's some other guys on here that might be unfamiliar to you, and I might go over those in just a minute. The next word you need to know is parallelogram. Say parallelograms, okay? And now I underlined these double L's right here, and I did that for a reason. I did that because they make me think of parallel lines. Parallel lines are gonna go on and forever and ever and never touch. Like if I look at my piece of paper right here, these blue lines are gonna go on and forever and ever, and they might have had more going off the page, and they're never going to touch. So if I had a triangle, if I drew a triangle somewhere, those lines are gonna come together at a point and they're going to touch, okay? So look on here, I have a square, and I drew arrows to show that these lines, if I took a pin and a ruler and I traced them and I went on and forever and ever, they would never touch, okay? All four sides of a square equal. Next, I have a rectangle. He has 2 short sides and 2 long sides. Hi, rectangle. He's also parallelogram because all of his sides are gonna go on and forever and ever and never touch. This guy right here, he's a little slanted. He looks like a slanted rectangle, but his sides are also parallel. They're gonna go on and forever and ever and never touch each other, kind of like a road. And this one is a rhombus. I'll talk to you about him in just a minute. Okay, so parallelograms. Okay. Next, we have some rule breakers. Rule breakers. Dun, 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 dun. They have convex and concave polygons, and these are convex and concave quadrilaterals. Now, convex, he perplexes me, convex. He has all different sides. All the sides are different lengths. They are not parallel. It's just a weird shape. He's very different. We don't know what to call him. So he's convex. He is vexing me. He is not giving me a clear picture of what he is. So he's convex. The other guy, I like him. He looks like a boomerang, okay? So he has a little dent right here, and I'm gonna show you another little picture of him and a little way to remember how to figure out the difference between concave and convex, okay? So next, let's look at some shapes on my paper. Let's look at some veterans to the shape scene. The first one is square. He's normal. He's a normal dude. We learned about him in kindergarten. Hi, Mr. Square. He has all 4 sides equal. He has 4 corners. He also has what we call 4 right angles, and you'll see little square, little doodad drawn for right angles, okay? But he has a cousin, and his name is rhombus, okay? A rhombus and a square are related to each other. A square is a rhombus, but a rhombus is not a square. Let me show you what a rhombus looks like, okay? This is a rhombus. A rhombus looks like a square, but he's slanted. All 4 sides are equal, but he's slanted, okay? So square and rhombus, they are first cousins. They are related to each other, okay? I'm gonna put those on the side for right now. Next, I have another veteran. This is old school, Mr. Rectangle. We've learned about him before. We know who he is. Mr. Rectangle is related to parallelograms, okay? A parallelogram and a rectangle are best buds. They recognize each other, okay? Parallelograms make me think of rectangles because of the two short sides and the two long sides, okay? It just means that they have two sets of parallel sides, okay? 1 and 2. They're going to go on and on forever and ever, and the sides will never intersect. They'll never crisscross. They'll never get in a wreck, okay? All right, Mr. Rectangle's going to go on the side. Okay, so next we're going to look at a triangle. No, we're not. Actually, we're going to give Mr. Triangle here a haircut. Triangles remind me of trapezoids because it looks like the top of the triangle got cut off. Okay, so he had a haircut. A nice little buzz cut going on right there. Okay, so here is my trapezoid. Okay, and I'm pointing to the top because TR triangle, TR trapezoid. Triangle, you got a top cut off, and then trapezoid. Okay, now Mr. Trapezoid can look different. He doesn't have to be just a triangle with the top cut off. He has one set of parallel lines. These two lines, the top and the bottom, are going to go on and on forever and ever and never touch. However, if I would pretend that these two lines are going to continue, it would be kind of like the triangle, and they're going to wreck. They'll wreck at the top, okay? So he has one pair of slanted lines and one pair of parallel lines, okay? All right, last but not least, we have our two rule breakers. Here's convex. Actually, all the shapes that I've shown you so far are convex, okay? They do not go inward. They actually point out. All the angles point outward. There's no inward angles, okay? All of them point out. Every single shape I just showed you are convex. Now my concave is my boomerang. Also, if you draw a star on your paper, that is also concave. You see how this is like a dent, okay? And I drew a picture on the back to help you remember it also. Concave. See my little spooky eyes? He goes in, okay? So if you can go in the cave, he is concave. If you're outside, you are not concave. You are convex, okay? I can't go in the cave on any of these points. They're all pointing out. Mr. Concave, I can go in the cave. See my cave? And go inside. He goes in, okay? That's an angle that points in the cave, okay? I'm going to put my little boomerang over here. All right, now I showed you the vocabulary. Let's go ahead and look at the book pages. We're going to start on the solve and share. Okay, we are on page 811 in your math books. Okay, now it says, look at the shapes below. Name each quadrilateral you see and describe its attributes. Okay, now when I did this in the Zoom meeting, I actually did this out loud. I'll write it, the name of it, and I'm going to describe the attributes on the video. Okay, now A is not a rectangle, it's slanted. This is a parallelogram. So I'm just going to write para, period. I'm going to abbreviate these. Okay? B is a square. Squares have all four sides equal. It has all four right angles. Okay? This is a rectangle. He's classic, normal. We've seen him before. Okay? So parallelogram, he has two sets of parallel lines, but he does not have any right angles. Right angles, if you take your fingers and you can make an L straight down and straight across, that would be a right angle, okay? Straight down and straight across is a right angle. Letter D, oh, he's slanted, but let me tell you, all four of his sides look pretty equal, okay? So letter D is a rhombus. He's your new little guy. Letter E, oh, he looks familiar, like an old friend we have seen before. Letter F is another parallelogram. I'm going to abbreviate. Oh, G is also parallelogram. And letter H, oh, he's the crazy friend we bring to the party. He has only one set of parallel lines. These look like they're at an angle. If I drew with a ruler and I drew a straight line, they would connect at some point. He is a trapezoid. He is my triangle that had his top cut off. Okay? All right. Then it says, describe how you use what you know about quadrilaterals to identify the shapes. Well, we looked at angles, And we looked at sides. And we looked at the general shape of it. Okay, so that's what we were looking for. We also discussed it out loud. The kids in the Zoom lesson actually didn't do this part. We did the top part. Okay, let's do the convince me. Remember, the convince me is the teachy part at the top, and this is the good stuff that I would keep in my folders. I would tear this page out and I would keep this. You need to make sure you look back at these shapes, okay? Look back at these shapes many times. Don't just look at it once and say, I'm going to do the rest of topic 15. Remind yourself, okay? Because it's going to have you doing some comparing and contrasting between the shapes. All right, convince me. It says, draw a quadrilateral that is an example of one of the shapes in box B. Name the shape. Then draw an example of quadrilateral that's not in box B. All right, so I'm going to write box B, and I'm going to write not box B. Okay, so I would just pick one of these shapes to draw that is in that box. Okay, I like trapezoids. So I'm going to draw a trapezoid. Not in box B. Well, I know some weird funky shapes were not in box B, so I'm going to draw my boomerang because I like him. A concave quadrilateral is not in box B. And it's okay if you don't draw it perfect, and I can't erase because I'm using ink. Okay, so my trapezoid looks kind of bumpy, but that's okay. Okay, and he is not in box B. Kind of looks like an arrowhead. Okay. All right. Next, look up here. Oh, look, convex and concave. Concave have little caves. We can go live in there, okay? All right, number 1. This is a rectangle, but it's not a square. Why? Well, look at the square. All sides the same length. Oh, it's not all the same length, okay? So, sides are not all equal. They're not all equal, so they cannot be a square. Draw 2 different quadrilaterals that are not rectangles, squares, or rhombuses. Okay, not a square, not a rhombus, and not a rectangle. Okay, not these 3. That leaves these 2. Okay, trapezoid and parallelogram. I just had to look back at my paper. So I'm going to draw my trapezoid. One of my kids in my Zoom meeting called this the volcano shape. Okay, I like that. All right, and the other one is a parallelogram. There you go. Number 3. Okay, 3 through 9 is going to be the same directions. You're going to write as many possible special names for each quadrilateral, okay? All of these on this paper are all quadrilaterals, okay? So they are all quads, okay? This one right here is also a parallelogram, so I'm gonna write para. I'm gonna abbreviate because they don't give us much space to write it, but use 4 letters, the first 4 letters. Don't just write Q and P because that doesn't help your brain, okay? All right. And that's it. He's not a rectangle. He's not a rhombus. He's not a trapezoid. He's just 2. All right. Number 4. Oh, I know what she is. She's a rectangle. She is a parallelogram. And let's see. I think that's it. Rectangle, parallel. Oh, she's a quadrilateral too. We could put that. So 3 names for this one. Okay, number 5. All right, and then they don't put the little lines to show you that they're equal length, but we're going to pretend that they're equal length. And I'm going to draw these little lines right here. That means all 4 sides are equal. So that would make him a rhombus, rhomb, parallelogram, para. It's also a quad. Da, 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 da. So 1, 2, 3 names. Number 6 is all 4 sides are equal, so we're going to call this a square, and I'm going to write the whole thing, okay? This is also a parallelogram and a quadrilateral, and he actually has 4 names. Rhombus, or rhomb. Okay, see that? Okay, rhombuses just means that it has all four sides are equal. So rhombus, a square is a rhombus, but a rhombus is not a square. All right. Next, oh, look, pink rectangle, pink rectangle. So guess what? Number 7 and number 4 are twins. So I'm gonna use bullets this time. It is parallelogram. This is a quadrilateral. And the classic name, this is also rectangle. All right. All right, number 8. Woo-wee, look at this shape. I don't see very many equal sides, but I do see one set of parallel lines, okay? So that would actually make this a trapezoid, or a trap. It is a quadrilateral, and that is it, okay? Number 9, oh, look, number 9 and number 3 are twins. Okay, so it's going to be the same thing. So if number 3 was a quad and a parallelogram, then this one's going to be it. All right, let's look at the next one. Number 10, which has, or name all the possible quadrilaterals that fit the rule, has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Okay, parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, and square. These are all shapes that have 2 sets of parallel sides that are going to go on and on forever and ever and never touch. So we have a para, boop, a rectangle. We have a rhombus, or rhomb, and a square. Doop. Done. Okay. All right, next page, we're only going to do the bottom, number 17, the Common Core assessment question, because that's what I did on the Zoom meeting, okay? It says, does the name describe the quadrilateral below? Choose yes or no. So first we're going to look at it. All right, we see all the angles pointing out. We see these are parallel, and we're going to say that all 4 sides are equal, okay? So is this convex? Does he have a cave we can crawl into? Okay. Yes, he's convex. He's not concave. A rhombus. All 4 sides are equal. He's slanty. Yes. But is he a square? Okay, so a square is going to have those 4 L's. Okay, straight down and straight across. If you can make an L and it's straight down and straight across, like you would be drawing with a ruler, straight down, straight across, then it would be a square. But it looks like this is a little bit smaller than that. And then you have some 7s on here and not L's. So this is a no. Okay, so if he doesn't have right angles for a square, he doesn't have right angles for a triangle either. No right angles means no square, no rectangle. Okay? And that's it. 15-1. Poof. All done. And all you're responsible for is doing the Pearson lessons online after. And all it is 3 things. A video, a quick check, and a study buddy. Okay? All right. Bye, girls and boys. See you later.